Well, good morning. How are you all today? And welcome to the channels. I say channels because I'm putting this on both of the channels as I kind of ease the political stuff more over to the American Revival channel, but it's still applicable here. It's still applicable on the preparedness channel because it has to do with the future of our country and preparedness, right? Okay. Well, America is on a brink. And that's what I want to talk about now. The question is the brink of what? And what's going to come next? And are we ready for it? And and so we will go at it. Grab yourself something to sip on while we talk. I'm drinking this morning out of one of my favorite Stone Mott mugs, the one from the second annual gathering that we had back in October. What a great time that was. I think of you all frequently. I bet you not a day goes by that I don't think about that day and the chance that I had to meet many of you and talk with you and such as that. So grab yourself anyway something, hopefully out of a Stone Mott mug. It'll taste better, I promise you. And you can get them through our website, stonemont.us, and a lot of great sayings, a lot of great ideas and things that you would enjoy looking at while you drink your morning beverage. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. One of my favorite kinds of days. I do this to irritate the people who say, get to the point. Well, the point is I'm here visiting with the group, with the fine people of Integrative Preparedness and American Revival. That's the point. We're going to talk about the serious stuff in just a second, but I just kind of share some of my thoughts to begin with, and that is it's a beautiful day. It is raining. I spent the first hour and the first couple of cups of coffee sitting at, I have a special chair that I like to sit in, looking out my front room window I have a beautiful October Glory maple tree in my front yard. It's the most beautiful maple you've ever, it just pops out. It's amazing. And actually there's another one kind of a little bit away from it. So I sit there and I love watching the rain and looking at that, and it's just a cozy feeling. We're supposed to go out and put lights up on a house. Those of you who are on the Patreon channels got it. Well, I guess on the Integrated Preparedness channel, you saw a picture of the house we did yesterday. Mark and I did that. What a great way to make a living, right? Just a great way to make a living. I said on there that if you do what you love and love what you do, it is one of God's greatest blessings. And if you're not in that situation, I would encourage you to try to get yourself in that situation. Ask the good Lord to guide you, and it'll change your life. But anyway, I'm looking at the rain, and I think it's going to put a kibosh on us going out there today. We can work in the wet, we can work in the rain if we're working low, but we had a huge house to do today. One of those with that needed a 40-foot ladder, and the ladders get wet and it gets a little bit dangerous, and so I think I'm going to call off today. We'll see. We'll wait about an hour and I'll see whether I want to call the day or not. But anyway, sometimes God gives you that day of rest, right, or the day to do something else, or catch up on things that have been getting ahead of you, right? So maybe that's today. But back to the point here, America is on a brink. And like I said, the brink of what? You all probably saw in the news about the woman who was set on fire on a train in Chicago, right? We see the picture of the suspect. We don't know anything about the victim yet. But he apparently doused her with some kind of accelerant and lit her up, and said something like "burn, bitch, burn," or something like that. This guy had 49 previous felony arrests, I believe, from what I saw. Of course, one of these liberal judges let him out, and so somebody was horribly attacked. We don't know if she's going to make it or not, but even if she does, she's going to be disfigured for life and traumatized for life. An innocent person lit on fire. We had a few of those in Kansas City about 40, 50 years ago. They were racially motivated. Don't know whether this one is or not. Doesn't really matter, because what matters is that we have these people among us. We have these people roaming around, and they are being set upon us and reset upon us by a judicial system that won't do its job. You know, it's my opinion. I told Kelly last night that judges should be held responsible for the damage that is done by those that they set free. Just like bartender. You know, if you can hold a bartender liable for over serving somebody who goes out and gets in a wreck, why can't we hold judges responsible for the deaths and the mayhem that are caused by those that they put back on the streets? I think that we should. Judges just think that they are, you know, I mean, there's good ones. I have friends who are judges, but like anything else, there's good ones and there's bad ones, and we need to put the kibosh on that. Uh, Trump is meeting Mom Donnie. This isn't really going to be a political. I'm just making some things, pulling some things up here. Trump is going to meet Mom Donnie. I don't know why he would meet Mom Donnie, and at the White House today. So here we have a 30-something-year-old communist Muslim who has never really had a job in his life, never done anything, was elected by enough morons in New York City to be their mayor. And I'm sorry for those of you who are non-morons. In New York City, you're going to have to live with this, but then the whole country is going to, suffer as a result of this. And why Trump would even meet with him is just beyond me. I mean, I don't think that, for the most part, he hasn't even taken office yet. When was the last time a president met with a mayor to be, right? I don't like it. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. Okay. The brink on which we teeter at the moment is not necessarily international, although many of the channels out there and many of the news items want to keep you focused on what's international, because it sounds, it makes somebody sound very smart when they can talk about international affairs, what's going on in Venezuela and what's going on here and that. Well, there's enough mess in the whole world to keep us busy if we want to think about it, but it takes our mind off of what we need to keep our mind on, and that is what's happening here at home, domestically, in America. And the division that we're experiencing, and experiencing a greater division all the time here in our own country, is what threatens to destroy us. That is the brink on which we, are trying to balance right now. And it's I don't know whether we're going to fall over the brink or whether we're going to be able to pull ourselves back. I do want to say one thing about this, and that is I'm going to throw in a little economic information here, because again, I see so many other channels, and that's where so many people who watch channels like this get their information. They don't really, now, not you, the people who are on this channel. And by the way, if you're new to us, welcome. You're going to find this channel is different, not just because of me, but because of our commenters, our viewers and our commenters. And I find that our commenters are unbelievably informed. I used to always say, and I should probably continue to say it, that at least on both channels, really, Integrative Preparedness and American Revival, that this is the home of the smartest viewers and commenters in YouTube land, and I hold to that. And all you have to do is wait a little while and read some comments, and you will see that it's much, much different than other channels. But so many of the people out there who watch channels like this get their news from the channels, and when they do that, they get a lot of wrong information. Why is that? Because the channels don't know, right? The people who host the channels just don't know, or they're lying. I don't know, and I'm not going to call anybody a liar, but I'm going to say that when you put out wrong information, it's either a lie or ignorance. So there you go. Let me take a sip. I'm going to read you something about tariffs, okay? Because this has to do with how well you're going to do in life. And let me take a sip, and I'll read that, and then we'll continue. Pick up my old phone here that I keep as just kind of a handheld computer, and this is an article from Breitbart, and the title is Senator Bernie Moreno says experts catastrophically wrong on Trump's tariffs. I told you yesterday or the day before, whenever I did, about how the great study on, I think it was by the one of the Fed banks. I think this one was a San Francisco bank. Did a 150-year study on the true effects of tariffs on inflation and found that it did not drive inflation. And many people know that. I'm going to read another letter comment from one of our people also. Okay, so let me read a little bit of the story. This is Sean Moran. He's a Senator Bernie Moreno said during a Breitbart News policy event that the experts have been catastrophically wrong on President Donald Trump's tariffs. At the blah 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 blah. Um, at the event, Breitbart News editor-in-chief Alex Marlow interviewed the Buckeye State conservative and noted that Trump's tariffs have not increased inflation despite the establishment claiming they would. Here's where you have to be careful. You have to be careful who you follow, because those who follow kind of the BS mainstream media and don't have any personal knowledge and understanding of economics, they're just going to regurgitate what is the news of the day, and that's how wrong information gets spread. And I'll just, for anybody who doesn't know, I've been in business for, I don't know, 40 years, I guess. Yeah, I've owned my own businesses for 40 years. And when you're in business, you tend to understand these things. You understand economics. You learn, if you don't know, you learn about economics. You learn about international finance. You learn about a lot of things. The experts have been so catastrophically wrong this year. If you go back to Liberation Day in April, do you remember what they said? The economy is going to collapse. This was going to be a 1929 depression. Do you remember that? I'm saying it in an excited voice mode. Do you remember that? Do you remember watching videos that said this? The economy is going to collapse. This was going to be a 1929 depression. America is over. This is it. He added, I can tell you, I could name 100 CEOs who have been in our office. We're rebuilding America because of tariffs. Because of tariffs. I hammer this because so many people in the preparedness world have been misled, because first off, they don't understand this stuff, and then they're listening to other people who don't understand it. Moreno continued, if you're from America, you're going to bring more high-paying jobs to the United States. That's fantastic. That's right. So I will probably post this. That was just, let's see, that's enough. Maybe I'll post this over on the Patreon channel for everyone to see. I want to bring up something else here before we move into what you should do. Let me put you on pause while I find it. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. It was several minutes for me, but just seemed like a split second to you, right? The magic of technology. I want to read you something here. This is to help all those people who are wondering, what do I think about the economy? What do I think about the potential collapse? This is an answer that was given. This was a comment given by Tom Usher, who I call, and it was just on, I think it was yesterday's or the day before, on my video, is an economic collapse coming? And I always put it in that case. I never say economic collapse coming, because it's not. Okay, but so many people out there are using those inflammatory terms to draw people in. I put it as a case of a question so that I can answer and tell the truth about it. And so Tom Usher, who I have designated our poet laureate over on the Patreon channel, those of you, I somehow, well, you guys who are just on the regular YouTube, you're getting a treat here, learning some more stuff. But this is why you ought to be on the Patreon channels, because here's the extra kind of stuff you get. So here's what Tom writes. Tom was a builder for years. He's been in business for years. Oh, by the way, I should put in here digging. I just got something. Those of you who read the comments know digging. He and his wife's up in Utah. He said they just started a 6th stream of income. That's what you need to do. So let me read Tom's thing here. It's going to instruct you. I think we are moving toward a reset that will seem like a collapse. Everything is too out of balance to continue as is. Now, will the reset be good for us or the powers that be? Guess we'll find out, but I'm not hopeful for the good guys. Well, I'll say this. I agree with that as far as an overall reset. Here's the thing. The people who are smart are going to do very well. The people who are afraid are not going to do well. Okay. The current inflation is being caused by management of business as much as anything else. This is going to wash a lot of businesses out of the system. That's good in the long run, rough in the short, right? An awful lot of businesses took in a lot of debt in the last few years and when money was cheap. Now they're stuck with debt that is unsustainable. Excuse me, my left eye is giving me trouble. The same thing has happened at the personal level for many as they racked up debt buying things they really didn't need. Now the bills are coming due. The wealthy aren't being impacted. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Here's the thing to keep in mind. A lot of people are mad at the wealthy. A lot of people on the lower economic runs love to put down those who are doing better than them. That is absolutely the wrong attitude. The right attitude is to try to do better yourself. Get away from this celebration like on the dirt road. It's all I know. Blah blah blah. You're supposed to be bettering yourself. You're supposed to be bettering yourself personally and family wise. You're supposed to be building multi generational or intergenerational wealth. And because with wealth comes stability, with wealth comes preparedness, with wealth comes your ability to establish to protect yourself in what may be coming and whatever's happening within America, with an American revival allows you to contribute to an American revival as opposed to just sitting around and whining and complaining that life sucks. Okay, the wealthy aren't being impacted, so houses on the high category are selling like crazy. Right. And you've heard about nobody. I just heard on a video today, another one of those whining channels. Nobody can buy a house. Nobody can do this. Houses aren't selling. Hell, houses around here are selling all over the place. Houses around here are selling before they get the sign stuck in the yard. Okay. But here's what they're saying. The wealthy aren't being impacted, so houses in the high category are selling like crazy. The homes in the lower price ranges are selling much more slowly, right? Good restaurants are still filled while fast food joints are struggling, right? See, millions of people are doing very well. That's what people need to understand. This negative idiocy about nobody can find a job, nobody can, get ahead, nobody can buy a house. No, well, it's stupid. It's wrong. It's misleading, and it just feeds this monster of negativity that is dragging so many down or holding so many back. The truth is important, and the truth will set you free. I gave myself the title of Doctor of Truth yesterday, and some people agreed with it. So that's what the Doctor of Truth is telling you. The truth will set you free. Well, I didn't say that. Jesus said that. But whatever he says goes. But no, the truth, you need to know the truth, and you need to accept the truth. If you're going to do anything with your life at all, if you're going to increase the quality of your life, you need to be working according to the truth, not the lies of negativity that losers want you to believe, okay? So you'll stay down there with them. So I said the homes in the lower price ranges are selling much more slowly. Good restaurants are still filled while fast food joints are struggling, right? My wife told me that a big Freddy's franchise declared bankruptcy yesterday, shuttering a bunch of stores. A lot of people that are tapped out can't afford $25 for a couple of fast food dinners, right? So how many people are out of work there? How many people were put out of work when these lower end restaurants shut down? Do you know why they're still working at fast food restaurants? Because they have not bettered themselves. There is no reason that anybody has a right to expect that an entry level job or a fast food job or whatever, a minimum wage job, will support them for the rest of their life. And yet that's the message that we so often hear. Okay, you are supposed to be bettering yourself every day. And that's what preparedness is, and that's what striving for a return to the proper American spirit through American revival is. Okay, I'll continue. He says, "I'm glad to hear you pay your employees well." Yeah, I pay my employees very well. They're contractors, but I pay them very well. Capitalism is the best economic system we have, but it's too often ruined by greed, right? Capitalism, done properly, should focus on the profitability of the business, while at the same time considering the well-being of its employees and the impact it has on communities it's based in. Right. Here's something that a lot of low-rung people also don't understand, and that is the purpose of a business is not to provide jobs. Okay, it's not to provide jobs. It is to produce a profit. Okay, for the benefit of the owner or owners, and to that end, sometimes they need to hire people. Okay, so it is the result of the need to provide a profit that they need to hire people, and then they will pay the people, and the people who are hired benefit as a result of the job that they get. Okay, and those of us who treat our employees or contractors well, and we pay them well because we deserve it, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, a business is in business to have a profit and support the person or group who own it. That's the purpose of a business or a company. That and that alone. The need for employees and employment is a secondary need. And if it's handled properly, then it builds the business. Okay, somebody will come on here and say, well, but without the employees, the business wouldn't do very well. Well, didn't I just say that? See, some people will totally ignore half of what I say if they don't like it. Okay. Oh, I know. Uncle Steve, the doctor of truth. My experience, he says, yeah, owning a business carries a lot of responsibility. Yeah, that's what a lot of people who don't own businesses don't realize. My experience has been that many are so focused on the bottom line that they view their employees as consumables more than people. That's true. Especially if the business owner becomes increasingly more distant from the day to day and leaves others that are being judged primarily on a profit metric in charge. Right. Yeah, that's right. So what's the point? What's the purpose here? What's the brink? When I start my day, I start with my prayers and I start with listening to a devotional. And the first line of the devotional that I heard today, it's one of those things that hits you so immediately and so hard that you don't have to work at or really try to remember it because it is seared in your brain. And it started off with this: your mind is the workshop of your future. Think about that. Your mind is the workshop of your future. Your future is being built in your mind. Okay? Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're worrying about, whatever you are, whatever you're thinking about, that is either going to be building or destroying your future. So, what are you thinking about? And many people in the preparedness world and in the the political world, thinking about what's happening to the country, have come at it from the negative. Oh, things are tough. The same old spiel. Oh, things suck. Things are horrible. The economy's collapsing. Nobody can find a job. Nobody this. Blah blah blah. Or the fact on the other side that, well, the whole country's collapsing because of, and I could name 20 reasons that the country is collapsing. I do agree with the country's collapsing, but the thing is this: my mind is on what we do during the collapse and how we come up. We're going down in a valley, but there's another hill there, and how we come up that hill. And your life will be determined by the thoughts you have. And your thoughts will be, they are determinant of your mood and your resilience. I put one up the other day, very low viewership because it was about perseverance and resilience, which is it's just too hard for it. Well, that was on the preparedness channel. Just too hard for people who just want to sit around and eat ding dongs on their couch and listen to somebody tell them how the world is ending, so it makes them feel better. Okay. There's an old saying that you are responsible for your second thought. This is a religious saying. You are responsible for your second thought and your first action. Okay. It means you can't control what thoughts come into your mind. You can control what thoughts you keep in your mind, what you hold on to. And then you are responsible for your first act, whether that's positive or negative. But I'm going to repeat that line one more time because it's important. It's great to keep in your mind. Your mind is the workshop of your future. I think that pretty much says it all. Okay, well, what's your future going to be? Well, where's your mind at, right? Cling to the truth, not the lies that are being fed to you, and work. Apply yourself. Ask good Lord to guide you. He will if you ask, and if you listen, and then do what he says. And and many of you already know this. Many of you have been living like this forever, and I tell you what, those who have been living like this, their lives are appreciably different, meaning better than those who have not. For those if you haven't reached that point yet, do it. Let God lead you. Listen to him. Do what he says. You will see an unbelievable change in your life. You know, I'll read you something here before we close. On the back of the, well, on the front actually. On the front of the stone mount, I haven't even talked about my books. That's all right. I'll let that go today. Well, no, I won't. On the front of the stone mount notebook, it says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." It means commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will succeed. That only means if you've already asked him to guide you in it. Ask him to guide you in your works, and he will, and then commit those works to him, and they will be blessed, and your life will be changed. A reminder that this and all of my videos are brought to you by my books, the Stone Mount series, the Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, the Blessings and Freedom, Hostages to Fortune, and On Wings Like Eagles, the complete plan for preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a total collapse of everything. It's a story of a prepared family who, as a result of their preparedness, was not only able to continue living a good, high-quality life after the collapse of everything, but we're able to go out and help other people and then start rebuilding community and society the way that it should be built. If you haven't read it, you will love the series. You will learn more than you can imagine. You will be caught up in the series. I've had people tell me they have read through it 5 times simply because they enjoy the story so much and they're still learning. They're still seeing things that they missed the first 4 times through because it's so jam-packed with that. You won't even realize you're learning, because you'll enjoy the story so much. A couple ways to get them. You can get them through Amazon. That link is down below. A better way, the way that I would love you to do it, and that is get it directly through me, from me, through our website, stonemont.us. That link is also down below. When you get it from me directly, you can buy the whole set, which you can't do through Amazon. You get a bit of a discount when you do that, because we save money on the package and handling and shipping and all that kind of stuff, and we pass that savings on to you, and then I toss in the Stone Mount notebook from me to you for no charge. So, what's your future going to be? Remember that your mind is a workshop of your future. What shape is your workshop in? What tools do you have? What are you building? All right. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and remember that you need to be a part of the revival of this country, or you're not helping. Okay. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.